upcoming game. Visit the Jones Ticket booth or on the team's website for more availability. We hope to see you out there at the next home game. The National Basketball Association and the Chicago Bulls are committed to a safe and enjoyable sports experience. We therefore ask you to refrain from any disruptive behavior, such as fighting, throwing objects, attempting to enter the court or interrupt play, or
Coming right up, the Bulls taking on. Thanks for joining us here on 2K Sports. For NB. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. As you look at Memphis, down at 10th in the early going, looking to make a move up in the standings.
And guys, when you look at Memphis, they haven't packed any big surprises into the early part of this season. They're right in the middle of the NBA's pecking order.
Yeah, the middle of the pack seems to be right where they belong. They don't want to get complacent or to start pressing.
Now look at Memphis's starting group. Morant is the point with Bane out on the wing. Wells is out there with Jackson. And it's Edey in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And for Chicago, the guard set is Giddey and White. MP out there with Vucevic. And it's Dosunmu in at the 3 spot. Offensive rebound, Gardner. No good with the layup. And while we've got a moment, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
Kevin, I got a few minutes with Billy Donovan. Desmond Bane was the topic, and Coach was effusive with his praise. He said Bane is a great catch-and-shoot guy, but he'll find ways to contribute no matter what. He also said Bane is hard to game plan for, but they'll do their best not to let him get in rhythm. They will have their hands full tonight, guys.
Thanks so much, David.
Well, I'm surprised that didn't fall for him. We know that's a shot he can hit, and there wasn't much resistance either.
Well, we can all agree nothing better than the atmosphere of an NBA game. So, Shams, I know it's hard to pick one, but is there a best crowd, a best atmosphere in the NBA that you've come across that you really appreciate?
The Warriors fans, I feel, even at their peak, they bring a different level of aura, of enthusiasm. Kevin, you've been to more arenas than I have and more celebrated times as well at different points. What's your favorite, what's your best NBA arena?
When that New York crowd is popping, that arena is second to none, man. It is sizzling. Like you, I love knowledgeable fans, right? They know the calls, they know the officials, they know the strategies, they know what a player can and cannot do. That, to me, is the best part about going in some of these arenas and feeling that the players, have made it to a point where the fans know exactly what they can and cannot do. Knowledgeable fans.
I'll take your word for it, but that just means I have to get out to a Knicks game ASAP.
And here are the Grizzlies now. The Bulls getting the bucket. Morant with the bucket.
Yeah, a lot of guys now are not comfortable in that mid-range area, but Morant is. He'll take that shot when it's there.
Let's take a look at the players that have been grabbing rebounds in bunches to lead the NBA over the last 10 games. MP is number 1.
When it comes to rebounding, it's been a stupendous stretch for him. He's been using his body and strength so effectively.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it. Let's see some of the numbers here for MP.
And guys, how about the surge of offense he's experiencing right now? These last 5 games, he's been a machine at the offensive end. A different score than he had been earlier in the season. We'll find out if he can keep it going here tonight.
Now, Bane. Following the three-point attempt by MP. Bane finds Morant. And the league continuing, Shams, to tweak the rules around replay review. But would you set a time limit to maybe tweak it a little bit?
Have to, right? Especially some of these games and the way they're ending. It's something to try. If you can't find a cause to really overturn in a minute or two, let's keep this game moving. I think we all love a free-flowing game.
I agree. And the Grizzlies with possession here, following the three-point attempt by MP. Now here's Morant, defended by Dosunmu. Wells sets the pick for Bane. Basket counts.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
MP with a screen on Morant. Pass to MP. White against Bane. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Hits the three-point bomb. MP's got a pair of threes now in the first quarter for the Bulls. Morant passes to Bane. Here's Jackson, and the dunk by Jackson.
Yes, sir. Jackson Jr. flushing.
Bulls trail by 5. Outside, White. MP passes to Dosunmu. Back to MP. Just 5 on the clock. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
Yeah, not at his most efficient this quarter. He's got to work on finding high percentage shots.
From downtown. And it's Chicago with the rebound. The three from MP. Wells grabs the miss.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
And things can get so intense when NBA rumors start flying, Shams. You know that. The teams are just kind of holding on sometimes for dear life. What is it like when you break a major NBA story, like you've done numerous times?
It's like when your heart skips a beat, Kevin. It's like when you feel like you are in such a rush, and there's a surge of excitement that hits every particle of your body. Every profession obviously has a big payoff, but everything happens so fast. But when it happens, it makes all the hard work worth it. But it certainly brings a great feeling, and I definitely get goosebumps to this day.
You get goosebumps, but the hard work you put in to get that story, I know what you guys go through. It is amazing the hours you spend on it.
365, 24/7.
Wow.
He is really scuffling this quarter offensively. Perhaps a little frustration setting in.
Here's Edey. Vucevic defending. Pass to Morant. Oh, and he just jams it right over MP. Wow.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you say? We give Morant about an 11 there?
Awesome display of athleticism captured by our AT&T 5G Slam Cam.
Well, it's been a frustrating night for him at the offensive end. Just not able to give them any kind of a lift.
And between his footwork and height, Jackson is a tough matchup for defenders. Here he takes full advantage and draws the foul.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Memphis.
Well, their game plan has been very effective so far. They're working the ball inside, putting constant pressure on the defense.
Oh, man, their mid-range jumper also has been on fire. Tough to beat a group of guys shooting with that much confidence.
Now Morant, following the three-point attempt by MP. Aldama with the ball. Still scoreless. Traps in the tray. We have all these great foreign players. Maybe 3 of the top 5 players in the NBA are all foreign players, right? And so much was made of Anthony Edwards. Here's a 22-year-old American player who has maybe the charisma, the game, the everything. We could package it. Could be our next great player. Is there ever talk around the league about why are European players being so dominant? Where are the great young American players to compete against this great influx of international players?
The grassroots programs, you have to look at what happens abroad and in the States. You have to give a lot of credit to the way that they develop players. over in Europe, in any of those regions, they do a great job. And those players are hungry, they're driven, they're passionate. They're trying to get here to the States and play basketball at the highest level in the NBA. And you see at the amateur level, there can be a lot of fluidity, there can be a lot of flux, and players are given so much so soon in America. So to be able to have that chip on your shoulder, to have the passion, and to exude the confidence that Anthony Edwards has, the younger generation of players definitely have someone in Anthony Edwards to look up to.
And what a way to start this game, dominating at both ends of the floor.
Obviously, guys, brilliant coaching, a perfect game plan.
And the Grizzlies leading by 14.
2 minutes remaining in the
Aldama passes to Morant. There's 1:54 left in the first quarter. No good off the back of the rim.
And they've come out with a take no prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
MP inside. Guarded by Morant. And you look at the way the league is moving now, Shams, are there less big trades than when you started or more?
Perhaps a little bit less, but listen, the league is trying to keep parity in this league and allow teams to be able to keep their homegrown stars. There's always going to be plenty of interest, and that level of interest, not only from players from competing teams, but fans' interest, it's never been high.
And there's never any hesitancy, right? If a team feels they can get better, for whatever reason, and however they do it, I don't think there's any hesitancy to pull them in from the front.
Particularly when you're on the cusp of...
substitution on the court.
The guard set is Giddey and White. MP out there with Dosunmu. And it's Vucevic in at the center position. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Bulls trail by 10. Over in the corner, White back to MP. And now approaching 2 minutes of action here in the second quarter. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits. Well, it was the Memphis Grizzlies in their last game, a loss to Philadelphia. Outside, Bane.
Well, you know, Bane came into this league a terrific shooter. Now he's a terrific scorer. He can do it all.
This is his first trip to the line tonight.
And they have really leaned on his free throw shooting at times this season. He's been there for them, too, with 88% from the line. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Here's Dosunmu. Drills the three-pointer.
And they're hitting the long-range shots that they were missing in the first quarter, but still have ground to make up.
And, Shams, I've always wondered, watching you, reading you, when did you first fall in love with the NBA? And when did you decide to cover it?
Really, when I was around 10 or 11 years old, I grew up in Chicago right as the Bulls dynasty was starting. I wasn't quite old enough, but I was old enough to see some of those scrappy Bulls teams in the mid-2000s. And basketball was always a part of the national discourse, but also part of my life playing it, and then now being someone that's able to inform the audience and the public.
You know what? I'm looking up and down this table. I think we all feel the exact same way. And with an update from the sideline, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Kevin, Kobe White became one of the top candidates last season for Most Improved Player. He says, I always tried to just let the work show. I wanted to prove that I could be a starting guard in this league. I've just got to continue to get better every day, be aggressive, and be who I am. Kevin, back to you.
All right, D.A., love that attitude. Pippen finds Bane. Now Wells. Back to Bane. Just 5 to shoot. From outside, off the mark. Bulls trail by 14. Pass to Giddey. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
And it's easy to give up after a play like that, but this team needs to keep fighting.
Yeah, it's definitely a momentum shifter, but it's time to refocus, make smart decisions, and start fighting their way back.
And Memphis making a change here. Jackson's checked in, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
Well, White can attack fast, and the defense was unprepared to contest him cleanly.
Chicago shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. That free throw missing. He hits the 2nd from the line. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the 2nd quarter of play. Hey, Shams, we know you've reported on so many big trades that did happen. Were there ever a few that were close to happening but may have fallen apart at the 11th hour?
I always wait until things are 100% confirmed, but listen, there's always a trade or two that's viewed as done but just does not happen, whether it sours, whether something falls apart. There's always one deal or two that falls apart at the trade deadline or in the offseason. But I try to wait as best I can and make sure that when I report, it is confirmed.
Outstanding. Outside Jackson. Back to Pippen. Pass to Bane. Hands it from downtown. Bane's got 12 now in this quarter.
Their 3rd three-pointer in a row.
And the timeout called here by Billy Donovan. He wants to regroup and go over the strategy. Morant, he's checked in for Pippen. And we get a break in the action. Let's check out the leaders in steals. Jaren Jackson, number 1.
Defensively, his intensity just never drops. You match that up with his incredible timing, and you can see why he's atop the list.
The 3 from MP. And that comes off the assist by Giddey.
And let's see, guys, if that triggers another little explosion from him after hitting 3 triples in that first quarter.
Now, here's Morant for 3. MP grabs the miss. MP's got 8 rebounds in this game. On the wing, Bane. Off target from 3-point range.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
And a chance.
Yo. Yo. That's the word.